What's going on, everybody? It's Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs, and I'm back again with an all-new Review This with the Scene Snobs. That's right. So I do live reviews. Hopefully get some engagement in the community. Come out, talk about the movie with me, share in the comments. Let's discuss it. I like to make these non-spoiler and then spoiler territory if we get there. Sometimes we don't always get to the spoiler because I don't want to ruin things. But if you've seen it, stick around. Let's talk about what we saw in the movie. But I will talk about everything non-spoiler first. And of course, I will put up the caption when we need to for spoilers. That's right. So let's get started. So I saw Evil Dead Rise, the newest in the Evil Dead franchise. Of course, we have 5 movies and a television show that lasted for 3 seasons, which if you are a fan of this series, you should check out every single one of them. They are all tied in some way together, and I absolutely love that. Now it is a little convoluted timeline-wise, but absolutely definitely check it out. We do have some comments here. Chris, what's up, buddy? Let's go, Evil Dead. Thanks for joining in, man. Did you see the movie? Let me know. So I got a chance to sit down and check this out. Now the story tells a tale of 2 sisters who are kind of coming together, Beth and Ellie. Ellie is a mom of 3, 2 daughters and a son. And she's kind of she's living in a broken down old apartment building that's getting ready to get torn down. She and the kids are just kind of living their lives. Everybody seems very happy, kind of doing their thing. Beth usually travels around with a band. They call her a groupie a lot. This seems to be like a theme in this where they make fun of her. Almost like put her down like they don't understand her. I don't want to say make fun of her, but they don't understand what she does. She's more of a technician for a band and such. She finds out she's pregnant at the beginning of the film, which plays into it. Not really a spoiler because it's sort of part of the theme of it and the motherhood aspects, because this really does tug on that string a lot, the motherhood aspect of this and having kids and really amping up the horror with it. So as we go on, Beth goes to visit her sister. It's almost apparent like she wants to go and talk about the pregnancy because, her sister has kids, like kind of see where it's at, maybe a place to stay, and just kind of deal with like the information she had just gotten. Of course, a bit of an earthquake happens. And by the way, anybody who's seen this and is wondering what I'm getting into, I'm just getting into the main A story of this. There is a beginning that is tied into the end here, but I will save that for spoiler territory because it's not hugely integral to what the plot is and what's going on there. It's just more about something else. So I don't want to spoil anything for anybody at this juncture. So kind of getting into it and talking about it a little bit more. The kids wind up finding a lot of old records and they find an Necronomicon and things like that, and a very cool look for the Necronomicon in this one. I almost like a lot how every director has taken it on so far. Of course, Sam Raimi in the first 3, and then Fede Alvarez for the 2013 version, and of course for this version it's Lee Cronin who wrote and directed it, and kind of take on, and they kind of make a new Necronomicon look for each one. I almost hope they never stop that. Like, as all the directors that kind of take on this franchise and jump in and kind of tell their own version of the story, I hope they never do. I hope they all make the Necronomicon sort of like their own image, kind of like what do they want to see in this. So they did that with this very cool look to it. And this is a franchise, in my opinion, that really works. I don't think there's a bad thing about this franchise. There may not be a particular movie, or the TV show may not be for you. If you're more of a fan of like the straight up horror, this would be a good one for you. The first one, Evil Dead, and of course, Evil Dead 2013. Those would be like for the real horror fans. And of course, you can get an Evil Dead 2 for the horror comedy fans. It really touches on a lot of genres in the horror comedy within the Ash versus Evil Dead. And then, of course, Army of Darkness had a lot of that zaniness as well. And it was more adventure tale with the horror. It was like horror, adventure, fantasy in that one. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it as well. So as we go on and we get into this movie, Evil Dead Rises, it's apparent that there's a connection from everything I've heard and seen when I watched the movie. It's Bruce Campbell in the recording, kind of giving warning to, don't don't recite any of this. Don't let it happen. But of course, one of the kids gets it, plays the record, words are recited, all hell breaks loose in that apartment building, and their mother Ellie is taken first, and then is just terrorizing the family, especially the kids, and Beth, of course, is there for tow. They're terrorizing them the entire time. So it really preys on that, like, kids being in trouble feeling. I think a lot of us, that's a big trope for a lot of people. When you put a kid in a horror movie, you automatically have that hair on the back of your neck sort of stand up, because it's like, what's going to happen to this kid? Could something happen to this kid? And especially when it comes to the Evil Dead franchise, you're naturally expecting bad things to happen. It never really goes a good way. So it's it's exciting. And as we kind of go on and cover more of this and like watch this and see where this franchise is going, it really opened it up. The one aspect I really did like about this is that it brought it out of the woods. Now, I'll get into the spoiler territory why that may not always be the case, but I really liked it being out of the woods. Of course, it's only really restricted to the one apartment complex, not even really the whole complex, mostly just the floor that they live on. But it was still out of the woods. It was something different. We got, and very much why I like Army of Darkness. It like gets you out of this particular setting, which is a great setting. But I feel like Evil Dead is a franchise that could be so much bigger than it is. You could add the Deadites kind of anywhere and tell different tales about them. Doesn't even have, because they're not zombies, so you don't have to play the hordes angle. You could just play the evil's awakening in different places and have different tales that kind of go all around. So I like that aspect. It kind of feels like what they're going for, and I enjoyed it. The cinematography is very cool. I absolutely love the acting in this. I don't know. Alyssa Sutherland plays Ellie. Lily Sullivan plays Beth. They're the two main protagonists. The kids were all great in the movie. Just everybody played a really good job in this. I actually thought the acting in this was better than the acting in Evil Dead from 2013. And by extension, as much as I love all three of the originals, and they did some really good work, and Bruce Campbell is one of my favorites, acting wise, because there was a zaniness to his characters in that. Acting wise, like with the real horror, this one I think might have the edge over everybody. They really brought it, and I really loved Alyssa Sutherland's role as Ellie, especially when she gets taken and turned into a Deadite. So yeah, I have nothing to say bad about that. Like I said, cinematography was cool. The visual effects were very cool. Just all around, the gore wasn't as bad. I'm not a big gore guy, but I always find I enjoy it in these Evil Dead movies. I feel like they're right at home here. They're not being overused. It's used for, as much as we're getting, really plays a part in the tale and really enhances the evil aspect of it. So, I enjoyed that factor of this movie as well. This is one, if you're a horror fan, I think you would have a really great time, jumping in and just having fun with. So if you haven't seen it and you are a fan of the Evil Dead movies, this is one to definitely kind of get into. It is connected, of course, with all the other movies, just like 2013 reboot. Well, it wasn't really a reboot, but 2013 continuation was as well. So I like that they're keeping it that way too. I like that Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Rob Tappert are very much involved. More so Rob Tappert, it would seem these days, with the producing. But Bruce and Sam Raimi step in, and they're not going to put their name on anything that won't work within the franchise. If it's bad, they're going to say it's bad. So I do like that fact. I like that they're kind of overseeing the helm, and Rob Tappert, who's very close and been there from the beginning, is really kind of running the show. I think that works. I think that's why the TV show worked, and this franchise in a whole is just really good. Now, my rating for this movie, I kind of wanted to go with that first, and then kind of branch off that. It's 3.5 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5 mics. My ranking, if I were going to rank in two ways, the Evil Dead franchise, it would be, what am I going to watch, like personally, like for me, my first ranking, and if I'm deciding like which ones I'm going to go with first, I'm going to go with Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2013, Evil Dead, The Evil Dead, and then Evil Dead Rises. Now, Rises is last, I think, mostly because as good as it was, there were some things that kind of took me out of it. The pacing was a little slow at times, and then it seems like it would speed up too fast, like, and at the wrong times. Like sometimes I would really want more of what I'm seeing, and they would take me to a different place, and then that would drag on a little longer than I would have liked. So the pacing on it kind of threw me off a little bit, but it is a good, well-told story. And it's not a bad watch. It's only about an hour and a half, and I enjoyed that fact very much. So they did a good job, but it's just the pacing between scenes. So it's not the whole movie is really paced well. It's just the pacing between certain scenes. It's like, you're taking me out of this, and I'd rather see more of this interaction or this performance. The little girl in it was fantastic. Her name escaping me at the moment. My apologies. Cassie was the name in the movie. Nell Fisher is the actor. And some other mentions is Richard Crouchley played Caleb, the oldest son, and I cannot find the young woman's Bridget Gabrielle Eccles played Bridget. So they were the three kids that were in the movie. They did such a great job playing it up as like, my mother is now gone and there's this demon in her skin trying to kill me, which has to be hard enough to do. So but I would have rather seen more of them where they were kind of taking me out with different things. So yeah, but that's just a personal preference. 3.5 out of 5. I say you should definitely go check it out. We're gonna get into spoiler territory, but before I do, to rank them in the movies, so that I gave you my preferences of what I'd like to watch. Let me give you my second ranking of the best, in my opinion. And then if I'm going the best, I'm gonna go Evil Dead reboot, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead Rises, Evil Dead 2, The Evil Dead. And that's in terms of the action, the pacing, the plot, the story, the more technical side of what makes a movie really good. And that's how I'm ranking those. It's not about because I gave you my personal preference, and that's mostly based on nostalgia. So I'd love to hear yours, though. Make sure you sound off in the comments. Let me know. If you guys haven't seen it yet, we're going to get into a little bit of spoiler territory. I want to talk about some aspects I really liked, and if you guys are still sticking around, please tell me some stuff. But if you are, if you have seen it, if you haven't seen it, then now is the time to kind of walk away, because the spoilers are starting. And we're going to get back into that. So thanks very much for joining if you're leaving, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, because it helps us go a long way, and we have a lot of great content we think you really enjoy. All right, let's get into it. So aspects I really liked about this, Alyssa Sutherland as Ellie, especially Ellie when she's taken over, but as a Deadite, was fantastic. I think she's the highlight of this movie, in my opinion. She did such a fantastic job. And now when when Bridget and Caleb get taken over and they become Deadites, they really enhanced it. It was just this whole family, because you're watching this little girl, Cassie, with her aunt, desperately trying to survive. They're trapped in this whole floor of apartments, this world of like evil, and all these people who are also infected by it. So, Chris, I'm going to watch it Sunday. I hope you do get to see it. Please let me know what you think. And also, if you guys are watching this, we are official reps of Carolina Fear Fest. And if you're fans of these movies, then you'll really want to get some tickets and go. It's in Raleigh, North Carolina at the NC State Fairgrounds. And they're going to have Ray Santiago and Dana DiLorenzo. They will both be there. And they were, of course, from Ash vs. the Evil Dead. And we will be there as well, covering the panels, doing the live streams, running around the whole nine. So make sure you come out and have a really good time with us. The rest of the Snob Nation is going to be out there, and we couldn't be happier. All right. So, so I want to talk about Ellie a little bit. Couple things I really like that they set up well was foreshadowing a lot of the, not so much kills, but the gore that's going to kind of come into it, the stabs, the things like that. The sound effects were really well done. Oh man, the chewing of the eye was just like, it's just got to me, but I loved it. They really just do this up well in the Evil Dead franchise, and I just think that in this one, they picked a really good main villain. And the fact that she was so close to this family that we are following the whole time was just fantastic. The tattoo, there's a tattoo gun scene where she goes to kill her daughter with the tattoo gun, and kind of where it goes from there is pretty gnarly. I did really enjoy that aspect of it, though. These kids did a fantastic job as well. Overall, so the beginning scene, we get a very weird scalping scene, and I dug it, and it was a very funny one-liner. But it opens up in like on a lake. There, a couple of people are staying or a few people are staying in a cabin together. One of the girls has been sick and she's been laying in bed, and that's how it opens up. And then she find out is a deadite and kills her friends, and then it's just like they have a very cool credit sequence that opens up that I'm not going to give away. Go see it. And I think actually just for that you should go see it in theaters, because it was just very cool. And then as you kind of go on, that storyline's done. Like you don't see any more of those characters until, of course, the end, after everything kind of happens. The shredder, which comes into play, and is a very wickedly crazy scene. So go check that out. It was very cool, though. But you find out that it was the weird like shredder thing that they had that kind of gets rid of the deadites, for lack of a better phrase. But I did say spoilers. It comes into play, and you get this afterwards, you get this girl, she's kind of walking out, getting in her car, getting ready to leave and stuff, and you find out it's the girl from the beginning who was sick. So the whole apartment complex is has been infected. She's been infected. She goes, she's sick, and now she's spreading it at the woods. But now where else can it spread? And I like that aspect that they're like, okay, what you saw happened after all of this was the effect of the cause of the apartment complex massacre, basically. And I like that, again, they open it up to the world a bit, and they opened up to potential for so many more stories where you don't have to have Ash involved. You don't have to do that. It could just be something completely different. So I really dug that. And another aspect that I really liked in this is that of course they introduce all your cliche tropes from the Evil Dead. You get your chainsaw, you get your shotgun, you got lots and lots of blood, lots of blood. Very cool elevator sequences. Definitely go check those out. But I honestly, I like the fact that through this, and to kind of spoil a little bit here, when Beth and Cassie get out, when they finally they kill everybody off, and they're like ready to go, Cassie's loss of innocence, everything she's had to go through all of this, of course, that's what's going to subdue. Like, they killed the evil, and the evil's not coming after him, because once you lose your innocence, you're on the evil side. You're there. And Cassie, not that you are evil, but like the innocence is gone. That pure goodness. And Cassie, who was just a sweet kid all the way from the beginning, has now lived the life. She's been through hell and back. So I thought that element of this was really good. I'm actually very glad that she survived it, and that she was the one that had to go through the terror. And of course, Beth being there and learning how to be motherly and protect these kids as best she can, and losing some of them at the same time. That was a very cool element too. There's plot wise, it's always sort of been thin in the series, but I think that always worked for this. But now it seems like we can get a little bit more of a plot, even if it's just more character developing plot. And I like that. So if you guys are just checking in now or whatever, you're coming in, just again, my ranking for this movie is 3.5 out of 5 mics. That is a definitely, you should go and see, maybe check it out in theaters. I absolutely really like this movie, and I thought that they just did such a fantastic job. So I, of course, am Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs. Please like and subscribe if you're here on the YouTube channel. If you're watching this anywhere else, make sure to follow us on social media. We have tons of stuff going on all the time and more. We think you'll have a great time with it, because we try to create some really fun stuff. And the Snobs Nation community is a wonderful community to be a part of. Make sure to head over and check out our Discord. If you're interested, check out our Patreon. We got some exclusive stuff over there. All that is in the links down in the description. I appreciate you watching. Come check out our movie reviews. We pretty much do them every week, so we'd love to. If you have any special requests that you'd like me to check out and review, do that as well. We do that. And yeah, check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel, and then available on all podcast platforms and YouTube after that. All right, thanks everybody. Let's see what everybody's saying real quick with the comments. I'm gonna watch on Sunday, I hope. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, the show was awesome. Dale, what's up, buddy? Concur. Yeah, it was very good. Thanks for the review. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I know I'm a week behind. Last week was a pretty busy week, and as some of you guys know, it's been crazy. So just like zaniness all over. But yeah, so I'm glad I got to watch this finally and do a review on it. But I don't think I have any more reviews coming this week. I could do a few others. I watched a few other movies that came out. Quasi, I think, came out either last week or this week. And Ghosted. I wasn't really going to touch down on Ghosted though, because I was not a huge fan. But if you guys want to see anything, please let me know. You can sound off on any one of our social media. You can sound off in the comments here. I see everything. Or you can go over and talk about it on our Discord. All right, everybody. Thanks very much. We had an Alien Day special. You can go check that out last night. We don't have any more shows for this week, but next week we will be coming back very strong, and we hope you guys will be joining us. So, all right, but we will have special videos coming out every day. So thanks again, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and take care.